Okay, in this video I'm going to show you what to do with Unit 0 assignment number 1 and Unit 0 assignment number 2. Okay, Unit 0 assignment number 1 should be in the Unit 0 folder along with Unit 0 assignment 2 and some other things like the syllabus and some PDF annotation practice with using Kami, getting used to how we do that. So we're going to look at Unit 0 assignment number 1 first. This is a worksheet that goes along with a lab safety video from Crash Course that is linked in here. So if we click on this assignment, right, we've got some stuff right here, and we've got a little bit of instructions here below next to the Unit 0 Assignment 1 PDF, this guy. We click Open with Kami right there to write on it, and we're going to write our answers on it based on this lab techniques and safety video from Crash Course. This extra down here means that this isn't necessary to complete the assignment. It is extra. It's just kind of something else on top. So if you have 36 minutes to kill and you want to watch a video from the 1990s on lab safety, then it's a heck of a way to spend your night. But otherwise, we're just going to watch this version here. Now, I'm not going to play this in the video because you can go watch it for yourself. It's linked. You just click right there. It'll take you straight to the video. But we're going to use it to work on this assignment here. Okay, so here is Unit 0 Assignment 1. I can write on this using Kami, either by using the text box option, where I can click this T and then click somewhere else to show where I want the text box to be. I could type like that, so I could say long hair should be, the video will tell you it should be up in the lab. So I could say up in the lab. Now I feel like that's a little too small, so I can up the size of that by highlighting my text here. And let's do something a little bigger. Let's try 18. Oh, that's much better. Okay, I can change the color to be whatever I want. So if you want to go standard, you can do black. You could do something fun like blue or red. Basically, as long as I can read it, whatever color is fine. So I don't recommend, white, because then you can't see it. I'll do that. I also don't recommend gray. It's a little light. So if you're going to do a color, I would go with something darker, something like the red or the black or the blue. Purple's pretty good too. Okay, now the other way you can write your answers is by drawing. So you can choose your pen size. So I'll do maybe like 2. Let's try that. That's pretty good. Then you can draw with a stylus or with your finger. You can do it with a mouse or your touchpad, either way. And again, you can choose your color. You can do black, you can do red, you can do something that I can read pretty easily. Okay, and most of the stuff in the video will kind of answer the questions that you have to look at here. You can always go back through the video and catch things that you missed because the guy in the video talks pretty fast. 2 things that you might want to know. Let's see. 2B right here is pretty similar to a couple other questions. This G choice and this B choice right here, 4B. They all kind of go along the same line. So if you end up kind of with the same answer on those, don't worry about it too much. Find out how dangerous a chemical is, where are 2 places you can look. Well, 2 of those places you can look would be kind of the same place you could look to learn about a chemical. And it's also where you might go to find out how to dispose of a chemical. So if you kind of wind up with the same answers there, that's okay. Something like the hazmat diamond, the MSDS, which is the material safety data sheet, as well as other things like asking your teacher, the internet, things like that. It should also be noted that you don't have to have like the exact wording on some of these, as long as you have the right idea and you can word that correctly, then you should be fine. I'm not going to be nitpicking on how exactly you word it or like which 2 things you choose out of the possible options. Okay. Finally, these last two questions are things that are not covered in the video about lab safety, so I'm going to cover them here. If you get too much of a chemical, you should never put it back. That can cause contamination if we have extras of a chemical that you're measuring out for a lab. You can always go find another lab group that hasn't gotten those chemicals yet, give it to them. Or we can just dispose of it. We have extra, and it's much better to accidentally, to lose some rather than to risk messing up the whole rest of the bottle that it came from by contaminating it. Which has happened before, and it's not a good time. To be ready to handle accidents, Mr. McCord says there's a couple things you can have here. Your teacher may want you to have a plan, for one thing. So talk with your group members and figure out how you're going to divvy up the work if you are. So that way you're not trying to do the same thing as someone else. You're not getting in people's way. And you're kind of up to date on what needs to be done still. So this kind of goes along with that. Stick with your group. Okay? So if you kind of don't pay attention, sort of wander off, and just kind of lose track of what's going on, then that's when accidents happen. That's when things take way longer to get done in the lab. So stick with your group. Make sure you know what they're doing. And finally, and again, this all kind of goes together, but say, pay attention. Okay? Part of being a group means working together as a group, not watching your group do all the work for you. So in order to be a good productive group member, you've got to pay attention and know what's going on and be able to jump in and say, hey, I can do this part, or this is what I think for this question. Okay. So if you just kind of sit back and watch the action, then you're going to miss out, and people are not going to be happy with you being in their group. Don't be dead weight. Okay. Pay attention, stick with your group, have a plan.